Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with a review for Dr. Sleep, the new movie edited, written, and directed by Mike Flanagan, director of The Witch, which was the horror movie that got a lot of praise a couple of years ago. He's back behind the helm of Dr. Sleep, based on the Stephen King novel that came out in, I believe, 2013. And it's about the character Dan Torrance, for those that don't know, the kid from The Shining. And he is played by Ewan McGregor, and he is 30 years older now, and he gets called, eventually meets and tries to help a young girl who has the same ability that he does, known as the Shining, and she is trying to get away or avoid a group called the True Knots, who are hunting kids that have the Shining, because through killing the kids that have the Shining, they get to feed on something called steam. And again, that's the main premise of the story, and it has a lot of flashbacks to The Shining, the beloved movie from the 80s, directed by Stanley Kubrick, which Stephen King notably hated and still hates, but he has actually been a big fan of Dr. Sleep. And full disclosure, I am not typically a horror fan. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King books. I've read some, but I don't go looking for it. I know a lot of friends of mine have, or a couple of them are really diehard Stephen King fans. He's got some really big followers and people that love his work, and rightfully so. Again, not a horror movie guy, not really. I don't really go looking to go to horror movies. I've been trying to do better about appreciating them as an art form and seeing what they have to offer, and I have found some good ones in the last couple of years since I've started actually looking into film deeper and studying it. And I have to say, I was surprised by Dr. Sleep. I went in, I knew Ewan McGregor was in it, knew it was a big property by Stephen King, didn't know that it was a sequel to The Shining, and I just thought maybe I'll hate it, maybe I'll kind of like it, but I really liked it. And I'll probably never love a horror movie, but I really like Dr. Sleep. You can tell Mike Flanagan knows what he's doing. It's a very well-directed film. It doesn't overuse things like jump scares and other just horror genre stuff that we've seen overdone so many times that beat you over the head and just make people like me before, a couple of years ago, or just roll your eyes when you see a horror movie, or you just avoid them because you don't want to go through it. And this movie really, it focuses on its story, and it's told in a very great way, and everything is justified, all the techniques that they use, and it's really, really well done. The only criticism, I would say, major criticism, is just the length. I probably would trim it by maybe 10 minutes, maybe. It's 2.5 hours now, and 2:20 is still pretty long, and I love long movies. A lot of my favorite movies are long, but this one just kind of dragged just a little bit between. It was kind of a transition between the second act and the third act. Once that third act gets there, man, I was in. I was hooked. I wanted to see the end and see what was going to happen, and I was enjoying the hell out of the ride, and it was great. Great performance from the cast. The main villain is played by Rebecca Ferguson. Her character is Rose the Hat, leader of the True Knots. She does a great job. She's been great the last couple of years, especially in the Mission Impossible movies and several other things, but she really hit home too. And Ewan McGregor, always great. And the new actor played the child that Ewan McGregor's character helps, Kyliegh Curran. She does a great job too for being her first feature. You got to tip your hat to her. She really knocks it out of the park too. I know by the time I'm posting this video, it's been out for weeks and weeks. Unfortunately, it looks like the audience just wasn't able to come out. The audience that this movie was shooting for just did not come out to support it. I don't know if some people speculate it's because it didn't have The Shining in the title. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because they released it after Halloween, where leading up to Halloween, there's always usually a buzz around horror movies or horror-ish movies. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's, as some have speculated, maybe it's because The Shining is a movie that everybody in the movie buff world really builds up and thinks that has a huge cult following. And this sequel of Dr. Sleep kind of shows maybe that following isn't as strong as it either once was, or maybe it was never that strong. So, who knows? Who knows? It's I don't have the answers, and I don't know who does. But Dr. Sleep, it's still out in theaters. Probably running out of time to see it as I'm recording this. We're getting into the Thanksgiving Day holiday of 2019. But if you do get a chance to check it out, and you kind of like horror movies, I think you'll really like it. And if you are like me and don't necessarily like horror movies, but somebody wants to take you to it, I think it's worth your time, and you can go check it out. Again, it's a very well done horror film. Check it out, Dr. Sleep. Well, that's going to do it for me today, everybody. I'll be back with more reviews very, very soon. Be sure to hit the like button, share, and subscribe to be notified of all the future videos as I continue to we've got some new stuff coming out. We're going to continue on this channel to talk movies and beyond. I'll see you next time.